This has got to be some of my best work right here. Things that I did that a few months ago when I was in Nigeria, I sold the most beautiful pair of pants I'd ever made. And I fell in love. I was like, whoa, this is beautiful. I was so gassed, I posted it immediately on my story. And everybody's like, where did you get these? Yes, these pants are cute. Where'd you get them? And I was like, oh, I made them. Definitely one of my proudest works. But the thing is, since I made those pants, I have not been able to recreate them to my satisfaction. I made a black pair with a different type of cotton material, but that material, it looks, I don't like the way it looks. Let me just say that. It looks like parachuting material. I don't know, man. I also put a zipper on it. That part I did like. It was an invisible zipper, and I do like that aspect of it. And then the original pants that I made, I was trying them on while I was in Nigeria, and one of the times when I was trying it on, I tried to zip it up, the zipper popped. So there's that. I got to create these pants again, straight off the dome. I already drafted the pattern that I'm going to use earlier in the week. The pattern is pretty straightforward. I had to just do a slash and spread for the lower half because the bottom of the pants are gathered. They're like really big, balloony gathered. But what makes these pants special is that the waistband goes way past the waist and goes actually about like halfway to the hips. But I can't lie, I'm a little nervous, like low-key a lot of nervous. So I'm thinking of making the waistband with muslin first and just seeing how that goes before I cut into my actual material. For material, I'm thinking of using this gray linen. It has a little bit of stretch to it, but it's just a two-way stretch. Honestly, with this level of stretch, I might not need to put a zipper. Originally, that brown cotton material, it just didn't have enough stretch, but it looked beautiful without a zipper or anything. That's why I use an invisible zipper when I did add a zipper. I don't feel like going shopping for a gray invisible zipper. I think we're gonna use this stretch linen fabric. Okay. But first things first, I need to clean up my workspace. I feel like my sewing arrangement needs a little bit of a rejuvenation. Got my coffee in me. That is so good. Hello MTV, welcome to my crib. This is my sewing setup. I didn't change much except for the orientation of my desk. I just took some time to iron out the linen fabric I'm gonna use, and I decided I'm not gonna do a zipper and I'm not gonna do muslin. I'm just gonna do it because the brown ones, I didn't use muslin, I just did it. This technically is gonna be like the third time I'm making it because I made the black ones. This is the black pair that I made and I really do not like it because of the material. And it's a lot of material. So imagine walking by somebody and they're just, that's not flattering. That doesn't give luxurious. It doesn't go with the vibe of the pants, which is like flowy, bulby, you know? I don't know what this is. It literally is like parachute material. This is the invisible zip on the side. And this zip, I don't know if it was the way I was sewing it or the zip itself, but it would always get stuck like right when it would be entering the actual waistband. Oh, it usually zips well when I don't have it on, but when I have it on, it is like a struggle to zip this up. But the invisible zip makes it look so clean, like there isn't a seam or joining there, and I like that. So if I do end up having to make this with a zip, it's gonna have to be an invisible zip. Anyways, let's bend this. The only thing that I'm gonna test with the muslin is this gathering technique that I saw, which is basically on this type of tabletop machine, you can turn your tension, I believe it, all the way up and turn the stitch length all the way up too, and it'll automatically gather. But I hope that actually works and it's not just like a sometimes it works or like it's like a poor technique. Either way, I gotta test it out, see if that's gonna be what I do. These are the patterns for the front and back waistbands that I drew. With this waistband, it's easy to get confused if you create it on fold because the part that's on fold has to be the inside, and sometimes I forget that and end up splitting the waistband, and I didn't want to have to go through that, so I drew the full thing. When I pattern things out with this much detail, it helps me so I don't forget the things that I plan to do. This really big piece is the pattern that I drafted for the actual length of the pants. And this is lucky what I'm like most nervous about because I do not want to have any issues with that crotch. But I added all my allowances. It should be good. Fingers crossed. I'm going to test the muslin and then I'm going to cut the pattern out. Dun dun dun. Wow, I'm super, super glad I decided to use muslin first because, oh my goodness, I caught a mistake. I finished the waistband and I tried it on and I was like, wow, this fits really well. And I was already assuming that it would be hard to get this on because this is muslin and it's not stretchy, but I know the linen will be stretchy and give me the ease to be able to pull it over my hips. When you're making pants, like the widest part of the lower half is your hips. So whatever you're making has to be able to go over your hips before it gets to your waist. So I was very surprised that it went over my hips very easily. And then I measured and I realized this pattern gives me a 35-inch waist. My normal waist is like a 27, but I'm doing a low-waisted pair of pants, like low rise. So that's about 31 inches. So this back here is like gaping. It's like sticking out real bad. I'm trying to decide how I want to go about this. So I know I have to take off a total of about 4 inches. I think I might just cut those out 2 inches on each side, try it again, and then see if it actually fits better this time. Yes, this is looking like it will not go over my hips. That's what we want. It's barely over one thigh. And this is why I thought I would need a zip. Should I do a zip? Because my other option would be elastic, but I really don't want to do elastic. Like, that's not the clean look I'm going for. Let me pull that material again, because there is a chance the linen might have enough stretch that it will pull, but I'm nervous. Let's see. This is the non-stretchy way. This is a stretch. Honestly, it's not giving that it would be able to stretch that way. Yeah, no. I think I'm gonna have to redraft the pattern and I'm gonna have to get an invisible zip. Anyways, I think I can make the pants up to the point where I need a zip. Let's redraft. It is insanely cold right now, but I am super determined to finish these pants. Today, not tomorrow, today. Yesterday, I ended up making 2 different waistbands. First, it was too big, then I cut it and it became too small. There's that. The second one was almost perfect, but then the back was a little too big. And I realized, I think it's because the way I cut out the waistband, I did 15 inches in the front, 15 inches in the back. But that's not really the right proportions. The front half of my waist is about 17 inches, and then the back half of my waist is 15 inches. And that's why I had this little gaping thing at the back, like the back was sticking up because it just felt like more than 15 inches. But I honestly didn't want to take it apart again or try again to test my theory that I just needed to take those 2 inches off the back. I just put in some darts. The total of this dart is like 1.5 inches and it fits a lot better now, actually. Let me try it on. I didn't want to put any darts in the pants originally because I don't know, I just wanted to look clean and I want it to look like super smooth. Like I don't want any darts showing. I've already cut the 2 inches off the back pattern and now it's time to just cut it on the linen. Okay, it's time to just do. From Hobby Lobby, I got this hook and eye pack. I got 80-12 sewing needles for my machine because that's what they suggested I use with linen. And then I got a gray invisible zipper. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a gathering foot. I went to Hobby Lobby and Michael's, but they just didn't have one. But then the more I looked at gathering foots, I was like, this probably isn't even gonna gather as much as I want it to anyways. It's like soft gathers. So whatever, I'm gonna just hand gather. Anyways, let's cut this out. I'm in a super duper good mood today because I'm almost done with the pants and they're looking like how they're supposed to look. I'm very surprised that when I actually gathered all the pieces of the pants, none of the thread popped, which is crazy. That never happens to me. I always pop some type of thread because I'm gathering. Each section is about 25 inches. That's a long gather, but somehow, some way, I made it through. These are the pants right now. It looks just like a lot of material, I know, but it's not just material. I'm so gassed. I mean, it's not the most perfect, but look at my finishings on the inside. I still need to cut some strings. But oh my goodness, compared to, also I had to use black because I didn't have enough gray thread. Also, I found out that regular thread is not the same as overlocking thread. The more you know. But look at this. That looks so much neater than the other pants that I made. The insides were looking crazy, but I pushed through with my serger and I was able to serge the entire inside of these pants. I ironed all my seams flat. Like, oh, it's giving professional. My waistband fits perfectly around the pants, and the last thing I have to do is add the zipper on the side. But do y'all want a sneak peek of what it looks like on? Do you? Back it up on y'all. Not back it up on y'all. Anyways, these are the pants. One leg is closed, the other isn't. That's where the zip is gonna be. So this is gonna be the side with my zip. This is the side that's already closed. This is the center. And this linen does have really good stretch. I also like the way it falls. Like, there is absolutely no gaping at the back. Hello. The last and final step really is this invisible zip, and I hope it does not put me to shame. But look at how good this looks, and it's gonna look even better once I iron it. Look, you ate that. I'm gonna fold in and iron down both sides at 0.5. Iron down my zipper, attach my hook and eye, and then I should be done. I say it all like it's so easy, but whew, hopefully it is that easy, you know? But you never know with sewing, at least sewing with me. So the literal worst possible thing that could have happened with these pants happened. The zipper broke. Right as I got the invisible zip to be as invisible as possible, it broke right as I was zipping it up. Just stop. Distraught is an understatement. Like, look at how close this is. It barely looked like there was anything there in between it. And the only reason I even redid the zipper is because this part here, I wanted it to match up the side. Oh, I don't even know what to do right now. Like, this is crazy. Let's see. How do I fix this? She's done, and it literally looks so good. This has got to be some of my best work right here. I ate that. I ended up switching the zipper to a black zipper once that other one broke, and I think I actually aligned it better than the first time too, so maybe I needed to do that. And the black zipper also gives it like it's a better contrast. That gray zipper was too light of a gray. And then look at my invisible zip. Do you see how invisible that is? I am pulling it apart and you can barely still see that there's a zip there. Things that I did, let's try it on, rate it 1 to 10. Another thing that I did, I realized I kept having this issue with the zip being stuck at the joining part, because this is what happened with the brown pants I made too. And I thought I just put the zip in wrong, but the zip is only necessary for the waistband. If I try to make the zip longer than that, that joining where the gathers joins in with the waistband, that part is just there's too much tension around there. And that's why the invisible zip was never able to zip up and would eventually end up breaking. Lesson learned. I actually have no words for how good this looks. No words. This is so good. This is peak ottoman. You guys, this is good. Wow, wow, wow. So this is the final product. These pants look so good, better than I could have ever imagined. I mean, I wasn't expecting to do a bad job, but the thing is, usually when I sew something, I always tell myself, if I mess up, I'll just make it better the next time I do it and just move on. But this time, every time I messed up or was about to mess up or was about to do something that's like not the neatest, I would stop and just like take my time with it. Actually try to get it to look the way it's supposed to look, neat, professional, clean. That made such a difference. This has got to be like the cleanest work I've ever created. In terms of sewing, that is. I was very methodical with the way I did things. I ironed in between every step. I took my time with it. I was patient. It made such a huge difference. Like, this is beautiful. And the material choice was perfect. Like, you couldn't even tell that there's this much yardage on it. There's just a seamless blend from the waistband to the gathers. I love how the gathers are actually laying flat, because yeah, I'd be struggling to do gathers and then getting them to like look flat when I actually attach them to the piece. My invisible zip is invisible AF. Like, can you even tell what side? I mean, I just pointed at it, but you can barely tell. Anyways, if you've gotten to this part in the video, thank you so much for watching and sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to give me a like, a comment, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I should probably stop standing on this ottoman. The day it decides to give out on me, Ugh.